Now we're going to work on the inventory menu for the character so that he can see what items, what weapons he's picked up, and he can change the weapons, assign new batteries to the flashlights, and basically check on his overall health. So we're done with the first person controller for now. We'll be coming back soon to that character. At the moment we're going to be working on the canvas, so if we just zoom out of this for quite a bit, and let's find the canvas on our list. For some reason it's currently switched off, so I'm going to switch mine on. There it is. So we're going to be working with that big square. Now because we're working with sprites and things like that, obviously we're going to be working in the 2D view, so let's just click 2D. Okay, and then we can come over to this 2D view. We want to get it roughly sized up to the window. Now I'm just going to kind of resize things a little bit here if I can. Oh, okay, that's as far as I can go. I'm going to click this game tab and I'm going to move it over there, so I've got half and half. Okay, I want to see both at the same time, and let's just get this lined up, maybe, yeah, something like that. Okay, so that this is what is currently showing up. Okay, that's what's on the bottom there on this canvas. That's part of this GUI. Okay, that text is controlled by this WASD or arrow keys to move. Okay, we're going to be adding to this canvas. Now for this particular section you're going to need some resources, so I've included something in the resources, inventory menu items, which I've packaged up. So if you just click on that and just import all of these, shouldn't take very long. Can just close that. Now that should have come in possibly in the graphics, yep, in the folder called GUI. Okay, and these are the elements that we need. So image representations of each of the weapons, and these are set up as sprites. Okay, so the texture type is sprite, 2D and UI. Really important if, for example, you're working with something that has a transparency on the back, you need to set it up as a sprite, 2D and UI. Okay, there's also an audio sound as well, so whenever you click on something. So now we're going to be setting up our canvas layout for the inventory menu. So click on the canvas, right click, UI, and we're going to be putting in a panel. So the panel is basically the background. Now we can see it's come up there and it's basically filled the entire screen. Okay, we're going to change the color to a sort of almost like a black color. Okay, and it's currently got an alpha of 100. I want to change the alpha of this to around 243, so it's almost opaque, but not quite. Now what we can see is that we've got this nice dark background, but we can just barely see the game itself. Okay, so that's good. That's our background. Everything else is fine. I'm just going to change the name of this to inventory panel, or inventory menu panel rather. Okay, so I know what it is. If we make loads and loads of these, I want to know what it is, so it needs a good naming convention. Now what we need to do is basically put one of these weapons onto this panel. So to do that, we're going to right click on it, UI, and it's going to be an image. Alright, and that image shows up there. And in the inspector we can see that the source image, there is no sprite attached. So let's take this GUI knife. I think I'll start with the knife and just drag that into that slot. That becomes the knife. And I want to click set native size. Okay, so the actual size of the knife is there. Now don't worry, that looks absolutely massive. It's actually not that big. So if, for example, I zoom out, okay, we're definitely going to be able to put all the weapons on there. It's just basically the display size is not that big at the moment in that window. Okay, so this is only 290 by 200 pixels. Great, so we've got the knife image, so I'm actually going to change the name of it to knife image. Now we want a button on top of that. So with the inventory menu panel selected, we're going to right click UI and choose button. Alright, the button appears there. Now I don't want any text on this button, so click on that one and delete it. Now with the button we need to change the size of it so it matches the knife image. So the knife image is 290 by 200. So the button, we're going to change the width of it to 290 and the height of it to 200. Okay, so it matches that perfectly. Now the way that the inventory menu is going to work, or at least the way that Unity renders the canvas, is it starts from the top and goes down to the bottom. So it will render the knife image first and then render the button on top of that. That's important, the actual alignment of that. So let's change the name of this from button to knife button. Press enter. Now I actually want to change these elements on the button here. So where it says normal color, it's currently white and it's fully opaque. I want that to be totally transparent. There we go, so 0. So now we can see the knife itself. We've got the highlighted color. Okay, I'm going to change this color. I'm just going to type in an hexadecimal code. So it's going to be E5 1B28. So it's this kind of red color. Alright, now the opacity, I want it to be barely even noticeable. So I'm going to reduce its opacity down to like 2. Alright, so that's the color. Great, so what I want to do is basically just highlight that and copy it. So Control and C to copy. And I want to do the same on pressed color. So just Control and V to paste. Opacity of 2. And same on selected color as well. Control and V to paste and 2 for opacity. Now the color multiplier, I want that to be 2. Okay, so it's like it applies it twice over onto the image. It will tint it a little bit. It'll tint it a little bit red, but not so much that you can't see the knife. And everything else is good. All right, all we need to do now is move this into position. So to do this, I want to rely on this, really, on this screen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change from free aspect to 16:9. Okay, and that gives me a better understanding. And in fact, I'm going to show you how to set up one of these default resolutions. So if we click plus on the bottom, it's a fixed resolution, and we're going to say 1920 by 1080. Okay, because that's going to be the default resolution for this, and click OK. And then obviously with that selected, that's now going to show me the resolution for this. Now I'm just going to zoom out a bit so we can now see that we've got the right scale for this, and we can see how much space that knife currently takes up on the screen. So I now want to move this by clicking the move button. Probably going to drag it to about here, so that line. So on mine it's 1, 2, 3 in, and then roughly about there. Okay, so that is the first one complete. So now what I want to do is, with it maximized on play, I just want to test this to make sure that the button is working properly and that the graphics are working, and then we can move on to all of the other elements. So just press play. Okay, there's the background menu, and yep, it's turning red even though we can't see the cursor, so we can see that it's selected.